Well, boys and girls, I think I did the transmission in on the LB7, or something to that extent. I think the problem that's happening now would require a complete tear down. The thing still drives, and it drives without much problem, except for all the oil that it's leaving on the back of the tailgate. I spent a little bit of time under the truck yesterday, and it didn't take very long to figure out what all was happening here. So, let's explore, shall we? If I can get this creeper to roll on this frickin' ground. Oh yeah. Look at all this hot freshness down here. Let's see if we... Oh, stupid phone. What the hell is even happening? Sorry, trying to figure out what's going on. Alright. You can see this whole cross member down here is soaked. And I noticed, well, not that, but I noticed the front of the pumpkin was rather dark looking. And then I grabbed it. Oh shit, I'm rubbing on it too. You notice the bottom of the Nerf bar is just wet. What on the face of the earth is even happening? And I'm like, well, the bottom of the transmission isn't all wet. And then you look up front. Uh-oh. Well, let me go take a peek here. Yeah. Let me see if I can... Oh, man. Well, that looks wet, but it's not. Yeah, that looks wet, but it's not. That's wet. Oh, this wetness here. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm sure it's angled funny now. Oh, not much room under here. So, yeah. I'm like, well, would that be rear main? But if it was rear main, it'd be coming out of here too, but it's not. And I pulled the inspection cover off here. I looked in there, and it's dry as a bone in there. There's just wetness everywhere around here, so I don't know if this is upper, because it's like it stops after the upper oil pan, a titch. So I don't know, upper or lower oil pan. It's either, I don't know. It's got to be the oil pan. The PCV system's been oiling my... Let's see if I could turn you around. Has been oiling my transmission line oh so nicely. Everything over here, and I don't know why, but like the bottom of the oil pan on the front side, I think the upper oil pan had like a almost like Flex Seal or a rubberized hard coating, and the PCV valve's been breathing on that, or the catch can on this thing, I should say. This is an 01. For those that don't know, the 01 Duramax has no PCV routing into the intake. From the factory, it has a factory catch can with a breather, and that breather comes down pretty much to the bottom of the oil pan on the front side, and it's been breathing. And I'm hoping a lot of this moisture down here is from that, because like I said, on the front side, that I'll show you it's on the ground. I'll show you it. I peeled most of it off. Now, pardon the camera moving. So I'm like, well, there's nothing really back here wet at all. I'm sorry, jeez. Oh my gosh, it's just, there's no room under here. I don't have a lift or nothing. We'll zoom back. Come back and look at. Oh. Well, that's pleasant, right? Okay, your instant thought is, well, you could just get a new gasket. Well, problem is my transfer case is filled with 5W30. So why that just is transmission fluid. So the backside of my transmission's leaking. And I told you I had like a bearing howling. Well, I'm assuming it was the rear bearing on this thing. It is probably not doing so hot, as you can tell. So, like I said, this is probably going to require a complete tear down. And if I have to pull the transfer case and or transmission, the whole fucker's getting done. Inside, out, and all around. I'm done with this bullshit of the transmission can't handle the power the truck's got, blah, 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 slipping and whatever else, blowing the tranny at one piece at a time, one full throttle at a time. So I'm done with it. We're gonna frickin' build this bitch. Now, I'm trying to figure out, I'd much rather just buy a transmission and stick in here, because I really don't want to take a week or two to build this thing, and the amount of money it's going to take to build this thing inside out and all around, well, you'd just about be better off buying a full stage 4 transmission for the thing, because, you know, clutch kit plus torque converter, well, you're already pretty close to $3,000, if not at or over. So I also need bearings, I need seals, I need pretty much everything. And it just ain't, you know, by the time you rack it up, you're already 3, 4, 5,000 into it. Just go buy a new transmission, stick it in here. Problem is one don't have $5,000 or $6,000 for a transmission. So I really wanted one from Duramax Tuner, a DT750, but there's with I want the full upgrade, but that's well over $7,000. To just get the transmission before the core charges is $5,600. I also need the tuning on top of that. And the DT750 offers an option for the 6-speed upgrade. I desperately want that upgrade. That's an extra $1,550. Well, you really need the tuning for that then. So, and I don't know. If they want to sell you DSP5 plus trans tunes, well, I just need the trans tunes. I'm happy with my engine tunes. So, and with their ECM and TCM tunes, they wanted over $645. I'm like, holy mama. I mean, now you're talking closer to $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 for a complete unit, you know, bolt in, ready to go. I don't want to pay that much. Holy shit, that's just about the value of the truck. So on Duramax store, or DMAX store, they have a transmission. It's $4,750, I believe, for a stage 4, 700 or something horsepower. And it's 2-year unlimited mile warranty and whatever else. So that's a better option, a better price, I should say. I really, really want to do the DT750, but I tell you, that's just a chunk of change. But we'll see what, I don't know. This thing's going to be sitting for a while, I can tell you that much, because there wasn't a drip down here by my stomach at the end of the cross member yesterday. So this bitch is still dripping and leaking, and all I did was start it up and drive it down the hill. So yeah, and I felt like it had a slip or two one day, and I'm assuming it's probably because it's low on transmission fluid. I tell you, I'm just tired of problems. The joys of running over 400 and some horse at the fly, so 450 or so at the fly. I mean, we're running the 120 horse tune on this thing, and intake and exhaust. I mean, shit, she runs 31 pounds of boost like there's no tomorrow, and that's pumping some power. So, oh yeah, the joys. And then the backside of the transfer case has been spraying up along the bottom of the frickin' tunnel, of course. Why not, right? So, oh lordy, I tell you. Still an original U-joint up here at 270,000. Bend back there's been done. And there's a bungee cord because I had the car cover on the truck at one point. I just thought it was easier to leave the damn bungee cord under here and just bungee the thing than to mess with the sticking a bungee underneath it every single time I was covering it. thing's covered in oil. Oh, I gotta get up. So, anyway. Oh, shit. Helps if you have your balance, right? Oh, mama. I don't know if I explained it on this one. Supposedly under this cowling is a freaking, like, I don't know, a square cover that was sealed by the factory, and that seal goes bad, and then when rain comes down, it goes right into your heater box, and I'm fairly certain that's exactly what was happening on this thing, so I gotta get some silicone and take that apart and get that sealed up, but I don't know, it's hard to tell because all the times I've been up and down the dirt road, but you can see some speckling of oil along the tailgate, and son of a bitch. No good. See, here I was thinking maybe it was blow-by or something blowing out of the catch can, but no, I don't think so. Obviously, there's drips from the transfer case area, which is unfortunate. I mean, this trans has only got 230,000 miles. Or, I'm sorry, 130,000 miles. I bought it with 120, and I put maybe 10,000 miles on the thing. And, I mean, it was beautiful when I first put it in. It shifted like a brand new truck. I was just ecstatic. And, but then it started banging and everything else, just like the old transmission did, except for the torque converter was still halfway good, but now I'm blowing through that pretty damn quick too. I just don't want to turn the truck down. Like I said, I don't know how people drove these trucks stock. They're freaking dog, and they just are miserable to drive after, you know, you put them back to stock. I mean, you go from 120 horse down to 0, and it's, holy shit, I mean, talk about no enjoyment to drive. I mean, right now it just kicks ass. I mean, 0 to 70, 0 to 80 in just a heartbeat. And now it, you know, you go back to stock. This just ain't gonna happen. We'll leave it at that. It ain't gonna happen. So this truck's been sitting. Oh, hold on here. Okay, so that's the only vehicle that I have with air conditioning at the moment. This AC kicks on and it runs and it's cold at the lines, but when it comes into the cab is not cold. Now, I did do some research and found out that there's a, if you would, a first, but to me it's like a third because I just found out about it. So it's the first step. I guess you got to reclaim the AC, and that will supposedly remove any oil from the system. Well, that has never been done. I can tell you that much. When I got this truck built here, when I put it together from my LB7, I had a shop evac and recharge it. And I'm pretty sure that's all they did, was evac and recharge. I don't know if you can reclaim an empty system. I don't know if that'll draw oil out or if you have to have a full system in order to reclaim, but there's probably way too much oil in this thing because okay, so this system's been charged twice now, and that's probably way too much oil in there because it's just not cooling like it should. So that's such a frustration. So either I'm going to buy a cheap AC machine I can reclaim the Freon on my own, add the correct amount of oil, and then charge the system without the Freon that has the stupid oil in it. That's the other thing. I need to find Freon that don't have oil in it. So I don't know why they do that. AC Pro, top your system off and overcharge your oil and then have piss poor AC. I don't know. So that one's been done twice and it sucks now, so that's great. The Accord up there, that's been done once, but that was not reclaimed. There was almost nothing in the system by the time I opened the system. I mean, I literally held the Schrader valve and it went psh. Okay. So because I was curious to see how much was in it. If it was going to be too much, obviously, get it taken care of. But yeah, there's almost nothing in it. That's why it didn't kick on when I first tried to run the car before I did the transmission. So I put a new condenser, I put new dryer, and for some reason the gauge as you're charging it would fluctuate. And I'm talking about the gauge on the can, not the AC manifold gauges. It would fluctuate between okay on the low side of okay. I mean low, borderline low side of okay. And it would drop to it needs more, a lot more. And then you would come back and it was semi blowing cold out the vents, like kind of like the red truck does at first, just kind of like, well, it could be better, it could be a lot better. So you keep adding some, and it's not out of spec because I didn't have a full can when I did it, and a full can should have charged the system. So that's why I was just kind of topping it off with a little bit from a new can. And well, then all of a sudden, not too much longer, I mean, it's barely in the okay, and the compressor starts popping every time it turns off. And this was the thing too. With this system fully charged up, the AC compressor doesn't shut off. It runs and doesn't shut off. The compressor on the car was turning on, off, on, off, on, off. And I was like, that's not right. So, and that's where I was like, oh, we'll add some more. And the more I added, the quicker it was shutting off. Well, and then it started shutting off and popping, but the gauge still read barely okay. Well, of course, I turned the air compressor off, or the AC off, and I don't know. Tried to hold a towel and trying to let some Freon out or something to get it to quit popping, but it didn't really. And it was weird. Now, this is where I think something was plugging the system up. Now, it doesn't have an orifice tube. It has some kind of valve set up in the heater box. And something was plugging it up because you'd open the Schrader valve and you'd hear psh through the towel, but nothing, no liquid, no oil, no nothing was coming out, just air. Okay. Well, if you held it open for about 10 seconds, then you'd start getting some green stuff coming out. So you'd stop because the towel was getting ice cold, and then you'd hit it again and more air would come out. About 10 seconds later, then some goop would start coming out. And you're like, what the hell? That's not right. And this was as the compressor's running, because I want to see as the compressor would normalize or something. Well, it just kind of never did. And then one day I tried it when I was driving to St. Cloud, and you could feel it just drag the engine down. And as I'm doing 70 down the road, and all of a sudden I start smelling funny things. So I shut it off, and the AC, the vents never got cool or nothing. So I'm like, fuck, AC's dicked. So that'll cost me another couple $100 trying to fix that. And oh man, but yeah. So anyway, the joys of owning 3 vehicles that are all old and all have 200,000 to 300,000 miles and are all just about as old as me. Freaking A, I tell ya. Getting real tired of fixing things. This thing needs injectors like yesterday. And this one needs a transmission now, like yesterday. The transmission and the Accord ain't all that great. It gets you by, but it ain't all that great. The AC don't work in that one, works in this one, doesn't work in that one. It works okay in this one. This one I actually got it down to 45 degrees after about 30 minutes or so. Initially, about that, it starts out about 70 degrees, and then after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, then it starts really cooling down. So that just bugs me. New trucks aren't that way. This shouldn't be that way, right? I mean, the AC system's been opened once, and I had them evac and recharge this, or maybe I did. I don't remember. So, yeah, that needs to be done right. And I might just, I can't because transmission's fucked. I don't know how many times I'll go, oh, I'll go take the red truck. Nope, can't do that. How many times I'll end up doing that? But, so this is the only truck I got now. At fit whopping 15, 16 miles to the gallon, which, yeah, some people, oh, I get 12 miles to the gallon. Yep, you're getting that much. Well, I'm sorry. This engine used to get 18.5 miles to the gallon, so when I'm getting 15, 16, well, something's wrong. And the thing's a freaking dog to drive, even with it tuned, because the damn injectors are absolute garbage. At least 2 of them for sure, but I can't imagine that 2 would bring the whole engine down, because I think they're overfueling type of thing, so I don't know. It is what it is. Oh, shit. So, and then the AC don't work in it. And I paid $120 to have that shop evac recharge, and you think they do it right and reclaim evac recharge or something, if you can do that with an empty system, but shit. And then I got AC that's kind of like in the red truck. It would take forever to cool down, and that was before I had the rear console vents, so in a crew cab trying to heat all that space with that just don't work. So that was last summer, but oh, I'm tired of problems. I just need a new damn truck, I'm telling you. 2020 Denali crew cab, long bed, probably the charcoalish color or black, or maybe maroon. I haven't decided. Those 3 colors to me look phenomenal. But I really miss the black on chrome. I mean, this truck looks good. Don't get me wrong. The color choice is right. But, golly, there was nothing like that black and chrome. My 06 LBZ just looks so gorgeous, black and chrome. And I just couldn't get over it. Every time you look at it, like, damn, that looks good. I'm trying to do that with the red truck, since that one's got the 06 front end now. Or 03 to 06, whatever. Some of them go, oh, let's start in 03 too, you know. Yes, I know. I still need to get the brush guard brackets done, but I'm telling you, when you're short on funds, you really can't do a whole lot. And I could tell you, between 3 vehicles and fucking problems nonstop, you're short on funds. Oh, Lord. Waiting for payday here at the end of this month, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't. I really want to get a transmission in this thing and just drive the balls off of it. I mean, a transmission in this thing would just be phenomenal. Imagine putting all 400 and some horses down to the ground and not having the transmission just slide through every gear like it's not, like you really don't have that much power. And, golly, it'd probably just break the tires loose. God, that'd be nice. Probably break a U-joint or something. Crack the housings and stuff. I don't know, but it'd be freaking decent. Give me something else to bitch about. But this truck, I don't know. This truck's becoming a money pit. Big time. If it ain't the injectors, it'll probably be a head gasket. If it ain't the head gasket, it'll probably be getting the body work done. If it ain't the body work, it'll be something else. I mean, this truck's approaching 300,000. So I love driving. This thing drives so smooth. I cannot, other than the rear end and having the airbags now, that's stiffer, but the front end and with the cab mounts, it just drives so incredibly smooth. You get in the red truck, it's far from refined and smooth. It's just jittery, and it sucks to kind of drive, but it has that bounce. It has that soft suspension. The red truck, not this one. And well, this one's got a soft front end now, which kind of sucks because I want to bring it up a little bit, and I know that's going to take away from the ride. And I'm thinking about elastic shackles on this just to help alleviate the airbags, because it rode halfway decent before the airbags, and you gotta have 5 psi, it says, in order to maintain the shape of the airbag. Well, I'm sorry. They'd maintain them shape either way, but whatever. So, because anytime I put weight in it, I pump the airbags up, so it's not like it's the end of the world. But 5 pounds definitely takes away from the ride. So, and I've got 4 sandbags, 4 75-pound sandbags in the back. So you tell me it still doesn't ride great. So, but elastic shackles would probably help take the harshness out of it. And with airbags, you ain't even got to worry, and it would probably float even better with the airbags than with a trailer on. So that'd be decent. Oh shit! Money, 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 money. Someone want to sponsor me, like Duramax Tuner? Oh Lord, that'd be decent. Frick, I'd plaster the whole truck in Duramax Tuner if I had to. Fuck, that'd be decent. Oh my gosh. So. And because these injectors are good on the red truck, since I just did them like a year and a half ago, and like I said, I've only got maybe 10,000, if that. So, thinking at some point in near future-ish, next year maybe, we'll do like 30% or 40% tips on them with a Stroker CP3. I think that'd be pretty decent if we get the built trans. Tell you what, I tell you, the trans is only gonna be an encouragement to just boost the power, baby. I'll send a rod right through the block. Not really, but you know, might, maybe, you know. And then we'll get an LML block that's even stronger, you know, bottom end wise, and we'll frickin' just let her rip. Get an LML block, and we'll probably do some rods and some pistons, and just to have that, and the crank and a cam, not oversized cam, not overly sized cam, I should say. We might do like a street cam that's just a little bit bigger, but not anything that's gonna stroke and rum 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 rum. Oh, I hate that. Some people love that. I hate that. I could care less if my truck sounds like it's barely running. I like my smooth, quiet idle. So yeah, but 40 over injector sounds like a sure shot way to break them tires loose going 70 down the freeway. So maybe, maybe not. Who knows? We'll find out one day. We'll get there. It's my nice one, my Gouda one, other than the dents and scratches and everything else it's got now. So, oh well. Just got done burning 3 trailer loads of brush, cleaned up alongside the driveway, did all the way there down because it's just so damn overgrown. It has not been trimmed back, and it's crazy. We've got pictures of the yard back when I was just a kid. Back when my grandparents got married. It was going on 26 years ago, and I mean, holy shit. You know, they were putting the brick on the front of the house and stuff like that, and just to see, oh my gosh, my phone sucks at focusing, just to see the yard with all these little bitty trees, it's just nuts to think that these trees are as big, well, they're as old as I am, and they're, to have seen them kind of grow up, it's kind of crazy. I don't remember a whole lot of the trees, but to see pictures of them is, you know, so it's cool. It's just cool. It's a family property, and it'd be nice one day if I could be able to take up residence. So, man, that shed would be decent to work in. I tell you what, get a couple lifts in there, and then you can just put the transmission on a floor jack stand thingy that rolls around, and then you could just lift the truck up and have the transmission right there. Decent. So, oh, yeah. Anyway, I suppose I'd get this crap you know, in the middle, and I'll worry about that, and then stay tuned for updates, obviously. At some point, sometime, this truck will get a stage 4 trans, so just sucks my channel ain't big enough to really interest sponsors all that much. Damn, that'd be decent. Like I said, I'd plaster that bitch in stickers. Whole thing I'd wrap, probably. Man, that'd be decent. Duramax Tuner. Yeah. So anyway, I suppose. Well, hope you guys enjoyed seeing my trucks break down a little bit more often. Not really, but fuck it, I just keep spending money. I get it, and it just disappears faster than I get it, so. Yeah, that diesel life though. I would not drive anything else. And yes, I drive an Accord, but that's for gas mileage, so. But if I had to own another truck, if I had to own, well, I mean, like another brand or something, I wouldn't. This is so easy to work on. It's a whole lot less complicated. It's just straightforward. Do this, do that, it's done. Whereas other brands, things are so much more complicated. They don't know how to engineer jack shit, and it's just a complete pain in the ass. I've worked on them. I don't want to work on them again. I never want to see them again. You know? Golly, Ford is just fucking up the underside of that hood. Everything is all over the place, and it's like they just threw it in there, zero regards for who's going to work on it next. Duramax hasn't changed all that much. The new L5P has, yes, but the LML and under is all practically the same under the hood, and it's just so simple. It's just so easy, especially if you delete the emissions. Then it's just super simple and a whole lot more space. So, but you didn't hear me say that. We're in Canada, right? Yeah, minus the Minnesota plates. I drove from Minnesota to Canada, so. Mexico or whatever, who cares? It's probably Mexico. They probably have less EPA garbage, so yeah, interesting. So hope you guys enjoyed. 31-minute video already. Holy shit, sorry, keep doing that, but you know, you get to see what's wrong with all my trucks all the time, right? So wish me luck in fixing all the air conditioning bullshit, and hopefully we'll have a running air conditioning truck here pretty quick here, because it needs to change big time, like right now. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. God bless.